Predict Escalation is support software for a specific operational decision, predicts when user requests are likely to require escalation to human agents based on conversation patterns and complexity. This video explains what the tool does, why the workflow matters, and how the output becomes useful decision evidence. The problem is that support teams often manage this workflow with scattered inputs, inconsistent review rules, and manual interpretation. At quarantadue.ai, every MCP workflow starts from the real tool interface, not from a generic prompt. The goal is simple. Keep the expert in control while the system structures the evidence. Inputs, reasoning, and outputs stay connected in one reviewable flow. Now the results become easier to compare, easier to review, and easier to explain. Predict Escalation narrows that process into a repeatable model so teams can compare cases without rebuilding the logic each time. Predict Escalation starts with a defined input contract. Typical inputs include total messages, average response time, customer sentiment score, technical complexity, and repeated questions. Keeping these fields explicit reduces ambiguity and makes every run easier to audit. The workflow then applies calculate a complexity-adjusted score for message volume by multiplying the total message count by a multiplier based on the technical complexity level, calculate a composite index of customer frustration by combining the inverse of sentiment score, a penalty for slow average response time, and a penalty for repeated questions. Calculate an urgency score by multiplying the percentage of urgent keywords in the conversation by a multiplier based on the technical complexity level. Calculate an additional penalty score based on historical context factors, the presence of file attachments, and previous escalation attempts on the ticket. And calculate the final probability of escalation by taking a weighted sum of the adjusted message score, frustration index, urgency score, and context penalty, then normalizing to a percentage. This keeps the process deterministic, reviewable, and aligned with how support teams actually make decisions. Predict Escalation returns structured outputs such as escalation probability, message volume score, frustration index, escalation risk level, and risk contribution analysis. These outputs are designed to support review, reporting, comparison, and follow-up actions. The value of Predict Escalation is not just automation, it is a controlled way to turn repeated support work into a documented business process with clear inputs, transparent logic, and reusable outputs.